This is a SkyWatcher Startravel 102 millimeter telescope. It's a refractor, and it has its own EQ1 equatorial mount, but I want to use it in alt-azimuth mount from the windowsill. As you know, we do astronomy from the windowsill, astronomy for windowsill, and so I've adopted it to use the virtuoso mount, which is really good. The SkyWatcher again. I've used the Losmandy dovetail bar, very sturdy, very good, to attach this. The attachment mount bar of that EQ1 is actually attached to the mount head. You can remove it practically, or with difficulty if you want. So I just use these rings, mounted tube rings with their own screw on the bolt holes of this Losmandy. And this is the lens of the telescope. I hope you can see. And this is what it looks like. And let us find the target and look at it. Okay, it's the view through my Ostara 40 millimeter wide angle eyepiece. This is what you see. There is a very good eye relief with this eyepiece, and the telescope itself also. We are now looking at a situation that normally any telescope will have some chromatic aberration. It's almost non-existent. Number for this telescope means the focal length of the telescope divided by the diameter of the objective, which is in this case 102 millimeter, and the focal length is 500 millimeter. The F number then is 4.9, makes it quite a wide angle for such aperture. It is really quite wide angle. So in a normal way, you'd expect a lot of aberration, chromatic aberration, and also probably even spherical aberration. But in this telescope, it seems they have done the two lenses, which is a doublet of this refractor, they form it. They have a space between them, and that spacing has actually, in a way, has improved the chromatic aberration in a very good way. So. Okay, I'm now using a 10 millimeter orthoscopic eyepiece. As you can see, the image is really good and crisp. I see a slightly purple fringing, but you may not notice it. In the corner of the image you may see some violet coloring. But other than that, it's good. So probably we can use this. Any of these fruits you see there will be the size of the Jupiter or Saturn, with the rings of it, of course, in the viewing, unless you say that they may be too bright and the brightness may ruin the image. I think this is a good value, considering that for buying an apochromatic refractor or even a maxitoph, you have to pay probably from anything between 4 or 5 times to 10 times more than the price for this. I bought it second hand for around I think £50 with everything, you know, everything in the box was there, and we will put it in a good use first. And for this new one is around 189-200 pounds, so it's good value even at second hand. And then compare it with the 2,000 pounds that you may have to pay for an apochromatic telescope of this aperture, 1,000 pounds, 2,000 pounds sometimes, something in between. So good value in general. And compare the size of the tube aperture with this tonic water that I have here. And I will turn it around so we can see the lens. Okay, that's the lens. It needs a bit cleaning, but more than that, the lens is good. It's quite large. It has a lens cap, it has the eyepiece, it has everything that needs to start your working on the planets and stars. I'm looking forward to have a clear sky, probably not tonight because as you can see it's doom and gloom and cloudy. But I will try it on Jupiter, Saturn. Deep sky object probably will be the best usage for this telescope. Like star clusters, galaxies, it has a big objective lens. So it's 4-inch telescope, refractor, very good, capable, and hopefully it will be performing for us. And this is the view toward a few flowers in the garden. So again, you can see the clarity of the image. I cannot tap with my hand on the picture, but you can see it's almost in focus, at least from my eye. That was the view through the orthoscopic eyepiece. Now I'm back to the wide angle 40mm Ostara fossil eyepiece. Of course, I've not changed the focus, but if I change it now, probably you can see more clear. All in all, I think the optics of this telescope is really good. This eyepiece is brilliant, Ostara. This is the most used eyepiece that I have. I have probably 50 eyepieces, but this is the best I can use. It's cheap. I bought this from probably £15 or something. New, you can buy it for around £20. And I have 2 of this, so I just use it on each telescope probably. And really good telescope, wide angle views. And these are the fruits I'm looking at. So which one has yellow bits? That was the one I was looking at. Okay. And the window closes. This is my SkyWatcher 102, Startravel 102mm. That's 4-inch telescope. There's a lens cap. I'm removing it. This is the lens. I thought I saw something which may be the initial stages of fungal growth. So I'm just trying to clean it to see what will happen if it is outside surfaces. I remove the shield here and we go. See. Decided to open the lens completely and just do the other side of it also, if it needs, of course. I will just blow some air. It doesn't have any bad thing here in this side. But I just use a blower just to see how it will affect it. The image quality, I'm really impressed, and the ease of movement, and you can see almost I can point it to the zenith, and the arrangement is really good. It's better than the other telescope that I have. You can almost point it to the zenith. The angle of this is now around 75 degrees, yeah, and it's like Vega. If it is real high, you can look at this, and nice. I'm happy with this Losmandy. Really saved the day. Without this Losmandy, that's from my Meade LX9T gyroscope for that. So it has its own rings, and this Vixen, we call Losmandy dovetail. Really helpful. The lens, and I noticed that when I was removing this dew shield, I noticed that the whole lens was also twisting, so probably I can do the other side of it, but I will not risk it. I'll just do first this side. Oh, I'm quite impressed by the ease of use of this cleaning of this telescope. You put the lens assembly, it can be screwed, everything inside is nice. The color, look at this glittery color, they're very beautiful. and they have been built to be easy maintained and at the same time easy to work with. Okay, I'm now going to put the dew shield on it. As you can see, dew shield has also some felt around it. I'm going to blow some air into this and clean it also. Okay, I'll put this now back. Let me have a look before putting the lens cap on. And I'll use the eyepiece just to see how it is. So this is the spray, Butter Optical Wonder, and this is the lens. Now let me spray. Okay, one layer, one puff was enough. So I'm going to use that cleaner just to clean it. Oh, really looks nice, this fabric. Okay. I'm moving gently across the surface. It's clean. As far as I can see, it's clean. Okay, the lens is perfectly clean now. And now I'm going to put it back on the telescope. Okay, that's a blower, again from China. And I just blow some air. I don't think it has ever been opened. I don't see anything inside this. And what I thought I saw as a fungi is probably gone. Nothing here. This is a SkyWatcher Startravel 102 millimeter telescope. It's a refractor, and it has its own EQ1 equatorial mount, but I want to use it in altazimuth mount from the windowsill. As you know, we do astronomy from the windowsill, astronomy for windowsill, and so I've adopted it to use the virtuoso mount, which is really good. The SkyWatcher again. I've used the Losmandy dovetail bar, very sturdy, very good, to attach this. The attachment, mount bar of that EQ1 is actually attached to the mount head. You cannot remove it practically, or with difficulty if you want. So I just use these rings, mounted tube rings with their own screw on the both holes of this Losmandy. And this is the lens of the telescope. I hope you can see. And this is what it looks like. And let us find the target and look at it. Just before that, it's a good opportunity to see the baffles and light stops inside the tube. Quite impressive stops. And yeah, that's nice. Better than what I thought. Okay, do I recommend the Butter Optical Wonder? Yes, definitely. It's a good one. It didn't use much of the spray also. Yeah, definitely. A few puff was enough for this old telescope. And yeah. If you get this also, this cloth also is very nice. You can wash it with softly, gently with some soap or liquid soap, and dry it, and it will be as good as new. Sharp. That is what we have to call Chinese technology. Best image quality. Forget about the Japanese telescopes or American telescope. China is the next best, or is the first best now. That's the actual image that I can see. And what you will see is what is it through the telescope after this. This is the image of the moons behind the cloud. Moon behind the cloud through the SkyWatcher Startravel 102 with the eyepiece, which is 40mm focal length. I must say I'm quite impressed by the quality of the image. And now this is the through the Butter's classic orthoscopic eyepiece, 10mm. Can see a lot of details in the full disk of the moon. I'm really impressed with the quality of this telescope. I expect a lot of chromatic aberration. I don't see anything. Can see the face of a fat man in the moon for a brief moment. No. Okay, now I'm using the SkyWatcher Nirvana. Yeah, from a thick layer of the cloud, behind the thick layer of the cloud. Using my mobile phone to photograph it. 3.2mm eyepiece. You see much details. Again, back to the Butter Order Classic. Just amazing the clarity. Amazing clarity, as you can see here. Oh, there's a bird flying. What is the insect on the lens? Aliens on the moon. the cutting in the sea of the north of the Imbrium, where the Jura Mountains is, what is called actually the part near the Caucasian Mountains, is Alpine Valley. Amazing. Yeah, this is lower part, so when you see the parallel dotted line as if parallel to that mountain, inward to the Sea of Rains, is where the Apollo 15 landed, in the mountains. I'll try to zoom on down. Yeah, although it is daylight, I have changed the setting of the video so it looks darker than what it actually is. But where I'm making this video using a LX200 Classic. It has a superior optic to anything that I've seen. And it has the slow motion controls unlike the LX9T. And that makes it possible to actually move the images. As you can see, I'm moving the micro movements of the telescope. It's possible. This. Yeah, the cuckoo is singing.